Now let's join Wale Olusi, who is now at United Capital as a research analyst over there. Thank you very much, Wale Olusi, for joining us on Capital Market this evening.
Good evening, thank you for having me.
I appreciate that. Okay, so let's start off with the GDP numbers of 1.4% that came in this week, coupled with the CBN MPC decision where all the rates were left unchanged. You guys at United Capital also predicted that nothing was going to happen. How did all this impact on equities, on bonds, and treasury bills?
Okay, thank you for having me, Temple, once again. I think it was an interesting week. Started with GDP number coming in, very strongly. But once again, the surprise was that the 1.4% growth, which was broadly in line with our own expectation, was driven by, a rebound in oil production, as well as stability that we've seen in the oil market, which has allowed price to be stable at above 50% so far in the year. Domestic production came in at about over 2 million barrels for the quarter, and that pushed oil GDP to about 24% growth in the period. That was massive. But the surprising thing is that many of the subsectors, including trade, manufacturing, and a couple of others, that shows some very strong, indication that they were going to improve in Q2, actually pulled back that improvement, and they all contracted. And then what we were thinking was responsible for that is the fact that consumption spending remained very weak, and investment in private sector also remained very weak because everybody, basically, both the bank and the individuals, are all deploying funds to the bank, to government security, right, because of the very outrageous yields that we are seeing in that space.
Yeah.
For the market, we didn't really see any huge reaction because many of these numbers were expected. For the GDP, all the PMI numbers that came in month on month throughout the 3 months of the quarter actually show very strong indication that the economy is going to improve.
So that already shaped the sentiment for investors.
Exactly. That already shaped the sentiment by investors. So, but for the week, we saw the equities market, doing a 1.4 thereabouts percent, uptrend week on week. And because of the tight liquidity in the money market, we also saw some, gyration in the fixed income segment because of some of the auction that, happened during the week. But CBN remained very, very restrictive in terms of its tightening. For the MPC, before I forget, we're also not surprised. We don't expect any change in the, direction of policy until Q1 2018. So for them to have left all the rates at their current level was not surprising at all.
So generally, investors basically priced in all of those sentiment, all of those projections, and they were able to make their investment decision. But Wale, let's quickly take a look at the auction that we saw at the bonds market this week. That was Wednesday. The 10-year bond was oversubscribed, but the 5-year was undersubscribed. Give us a sense of why that happened.
Yeah, I think that has been an occurrence that has been, happening lately. And the reason for that is that what investors are doing now is to position themselves in long-duration bonds while trying to reduce their position in shorter tenured bonds. Right. And the reason is simple. There's a near-term expectation that the rates are going to ease. So if that is the implication, it's better to lock down, your fund in longer-term instruments that are expected to, yield higher compared to shorter-term instruments, which will not be as attractive. Because in a couple of months from now, the 14% MPR you see now is probably going to be dropped by about 100 basis points or something around that corridor. Right. So that is what is driving investors I'd rather put my money in a longer term instrument that do a shorter time instrument because of the correction in rates.
But I bet that's caught in MPR will depend on the inflationary pressure that we've been seeing decelerating actually in recent time. Wale Olusi, thank you very much for your attention, and I appreciate your comments on the capital market this evening. Wale Olusi is the research analyst at United Capital. Thank you very much for your thoughts once again. Let's move on now to other things that the federal government has been asking enterprises to take advantage of, and that is the voluntary asset and income declaration scheme window launched on July the 1st this year with the deadline of March 31st, 2018. The Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, in Lagos at a workshop with tax professionals on Friday, made a presentation on why the initiative is necessary and how companies should leverage the scheme.
I'd like to start with saying, as somebody who spent many years in practice in accounting, that the first thing you need to do is to tell your client that you are now his or her doctor. And therefore, that client needs to be 100% honest with you. If the client is unable to be honest with you, it will be very, very difficult for you to help them. Extremely difficult. No matter how creative you are or how clever you are, it'll be difficult for you to help them. And I'll tell you why. In the last 15 months, the Ministry of Finance has run a project called Project Lighthouse. And it's an unprecedented project in Nigeria. Why? Because it pulls together various data sources that before neither FIRS nor the State Inland Revenue Service had access to. For example, it pulls together BVN data. It pulls together forex allocation. It pulls together state land registry across the states. It pulls together CAC data. It pulls together payments that government has made, declarations made in customs. So every single source of government data has been pulled. And then, as you know, those of you you're all professionals, so you know how powerful technology is and how cheap it is for technology to then run data matching and tell us that this person is associated with this property in this state, this property in this state, this company, this customs declaration, and of course we engaged one of the world's leading forensic investigatory firms on retainership to then go and look abroad. So what does it mean? It means that now the tax man knows you, or knows your client probably better than you do. So the first thing you need to tell your clients is you need to come clean with me so that I can help you. Because if they don't, or if they think they can work to the answer, you may find out that they're declaring, but we are coming back to question that declaration, the completeness of that declaration. So let me give you a very simple example, and I'm sure the professionals have given these type of examples. If somebody before now owned a property or resided in Lagos, but owned a property in Abuja, ran a company out of Port Harcourt, and also collected rental income on property in London, there is absolutely no way that Lagos State can know that that person has all those sources of income. So that person typically would only pay tax on their PAYE income. Agreed with the company accountant, just pay me 300,000 a month and pay the tax thereon.
The Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, right there. So if you are looking to partake in the whole VAIDS scheme, you need to quickly speak to your legal advisors as well as tax professionals to get things straight. After this short break, we'll be back with some strategic plans that human resources players plan with the Nigerian Stock Exchange. You should join us for that.